Hello everybody, and welcome back to another DM's Guild Roundup. We've got 5 more free adventures for you guys to check out today, and I cannot wait to get into them. If you guys got any suggestions for this series, what stories I should do, if you like those stories or anything like that, you know where to leave it down in the comments. But just rolling straight into number 1, we're going to Back to the Sea by Ginger, or Inkyginge, as they might have been called. Back to the Sea is an adventure meant for 3rd level characters. It takes place in a place that doesn't matter much for the setting. It could be salt marsh, Skullport, Waterdeep, any of those for example. The adventure revolves around a haunted cottage on a small island with themes of death, loss, and illness. The adventurers accept a contract from Durston Vanderbilt, a scholar researching mysterious storm patterns. The party meets Durston at the Squealing Squid Inn and agrees to help him with a bribe of 1,000 GP. They set off with Durston and a crew to help retrieve items from the seabed. On the second day, a storm capsizes the boat, stranding the party on the island with the haunted cottage. The cottage is difficult to enter due to the strong wind, and the party may encounter octopuses if they end up in the water. Inside, they find a hallway with things and letters that hint at who lives here. By figuring out a puzzle in the living room, they can overcome a spatial distortion that sends them back to the entrance. In the lounge, they find various items giving clues about the cottage's inhabitants. The party faces a challenge from the ghost Lilith, who uses telekinesis to hurl objects at them. The players must investigate the room and uncover its secrets to proceed. The party unlocks a story by repairing or resetting furniture in the lounge. As they do, the room reveals a shimmering overlay, almost like a hologram of its past state. The story unfolds with a human giving a cursed blue gem ring to a dancing tiefling, who dies from the curse. The horrified human throws the ring into the fireplace and flees. In the bedroom, the party finds items related to Lilith's life, a doll that triggers combat with a spectral form of Lilith's friends and relatives. Lilith's journal details her life, her mysterious illness, and Arul's strange behavior. In the kitchen, they find a hidden trapdoor leading to a flooded basement. While swimming, they encounter a giant octopus and a rusty chest with a greater healing potion inside. In the basement library and office, they find a hidden room with evidence of necromantic or fiendish magic. Arul's journal shows that he tried to make a ring that would give him eternal life, but instead he cursed Lilith. He believes he has found a way to undo the curse, but fears it may also end his life. The party uncovers a stunning natural cavern with glowing blue crystals and a calm body of water. They find a seaworthy rowing boat tied to a post. As they approach the water, the ghostly figure of Lilith appears, and they must perform a ritual to free her spirit. Each round, a party member reads a line of the ritual and pours holy water on the ring to complete it. Once the ritual is completed, Lilith's form is freed, leaving ash and a small blue gem behind. A peaceful, spectral figure of Lilith appears by the water, and the gem floats into her chest. She smiles, thanks the party, and fades away as she enters the sea. As the cavern begins to collapse, the party escapes in the rowboat and reunites with Durston's ship. Durston shows them a heavily locked crate he found, entwined with a skeleton. Once unlocked, he pulls out an ornate hand mirror, marking the end of the adventure. And that one is really interesting, everybody. There's not a lot of ghost stories that get told very often, especially not on the sea. And even though you might think that's the only kind of stories that are on the sea, not in D&D. That rhymed way too much for me. But alright, let's get into the next one, everybody. Of course, let me know what you thought of that one. And if you like that one, of course, let me know what you thought of that adventure now. Let's get into Death in the Woods. It's a 4-hour adventure for 4 to 5 first level characters by Jonathan Garland. At the town of Woodside, at the 2 short planks inns, the player characters learn about mysterious logger deaths in the magical Bell Woods. Erin, a young woman whose fiancé, William, has been missing for 2 months, is frustrated with the lack of progress in finding it. A fight breaks out between the loggers and the PCs, leading to their arrest. After spending the night in jail, Sheriff Shale Rockbrother releases the PCs because they acted in self-defense. Aaron informs them about 100 GP reward for solving the logger deaths and another GP reward for finding William. Aaron waits for the PCs but ready to guide them to the logger camp and reminds them they owe her for confirming their self-defense during the fight. In the woods, the adventurers arrive at a logger camp where people are nervous due to recent mysterious deaths. They meet Manfred, the gruff camp boss, who warns them to stay out of the way. As they explore the camp, they learn about the bodies in the woods and the decaying effect around the area. Adventuring into the woods, the group encounters a sprite named Hunter, who initially tries to scare them away. However, if they persuade him of their good intentions or bribe him with food, he shares information about a twisted tree that appeared after a violent incident, and the little trees that move around and kill the loggers. Hunter can guide the adventurers to the location of the mysterious tree, or they can find it through other means. The party enters the woods, a poisoned part where the greenery turns rusty brown. Venturing further, they notice humanoid figures of twisted branches and thorns moving towards them. Twig blights. The party must battle the blights, learning that they are ambulatory bushes and investigating their tracks leading to the Guthless Tree. The adventure then brings them to the Guthless Tree, which they must confront and defeat. Investigating the area, they discover a body with evidence linking it to Manfred's murder of William. To successfully conclude the adventure, the PCs must destroy the Guthless Tree and provide evidence of Manfred's crimes, after which they can claim their reward. The PCs present their evidence of Manfred himself to Sheriff Rockbrother. Aaron is present as well, and Manfred blames her for his actions. The sheriff awards the PCs their reward and suggests they might find more work in the woodside. Having proven their ability to get things done with the adventure completed, the PCs have made a name for themselves and can continue seeking further quests and challenges in the area. So that one was pretty cool, and we have actually already covered twig and vine blights in another video, maybe over here. And if you guys want to check that out, it's in the description in a card. And let's move right on to number 3. That's Rivers of Pollen by Michael Newnham. And this one's a really fun one to read, and it was written before bee conservation, so that's really cool. If you want to see how to make a bee box at the end, that's also at the back of this PDF. But let's get straight into Rivers of Pollen. In the charming, honey-laden town of Pollen, nested beneath the majestic Mustard Mountains, the industrious dwarves have built their livelihood around the sweet bounty of Honey River. This lifeblood of the community has mysteriously run dry, transforming the once bustling streets into sad, lonely paths. Golek Hornbreck, the industrial minister of Pollen, needs the help of brave adventurers to get to the mysterious Hive Mountain and find out why the Honey River has stopped flowing. Should they succeed in restoring the honey flow, they will be richly rewarded with badges and fame throughout the town. As the adventurers explore the mysterious Hive Cave, they find a long-forgotten miners' camp with plenty of treasures, and a crazy dwarf surfing from honey sickness is visible from the cave entrance. Next, the party stumbles upon a lush flower meadow, once a haven for bees to collect precious pollen, and a forlorn worker bee who desperately seeks their aid. In the end, they have to find a way through the dangerously collapsed Honey River, which requires creativity and teamwork to get over the 20-foot drop or find an alternate route. The journey continues as the heroes explore a grand cavern filled with scalding honey rivers that flows like molten lava. They may cross paths with Tuskern, a cursed pigman bound to serve the enigmatic Malu, and zealously guard a locked chest. The group also faces a dangerous giant wasp, foreshadowing the dangers that lie more profoundly in the hive. To move forward, they must master a honeycomb floor puzzle that collapses and disarms a clever sticky honey trap with tripwires all across. During these tests, the adventurers have a chance to find hidden treasures and figure out what's going on in the cave. In our climactic final battle, the heroes face off against Mauro, a massive bear with lightning-charged fur who is wearing armor. This intimidating person has caught the queen bee and made her workers make honey only for him to eat. Although selfish and aggressive, Mauro is not beyond reason. If the parties can defeat him and liberate the queen bee, she gratefully proposes constructing a man-made hive to restore honey production for the people of Pollen. If Mauro dies, Tuskern's curse is lifted and he turns back into Dullinham Brexfield, his proper dwarven form. With the queen bee's freedom secured and the honey river restored, the adventurers return to Pollen as heroes, ready to reap their rewards and embark on their next thrilling escapade. That's one of the more fun adventures that I've ever read, and especially when it has the concept of conservation at heart. That's really cool. There's not a lot of stories like that you'll say, oh yeah, I really enjoyed that one. But this one I really did. If you like that one, go ahead and let me know what you think down in the comments. We're rolling right into On Her Majesty's Pest Control Service, written by Mauro Gotsch. In the bustling port of Genna, a sinister plague casts its shadow upon the land. The townsfolk lived in fear of rats in incredible numbers. They have infested their homes, their shops, and even the Queen of Marissa's palace herself. Outrage at the sight of rats within her chamber, the queen declared the infestation a threat to the crown, and so she passed Reformation through Extermination Act, allowing criminals to lessen their sentences by hunting down the scourge of rats that plagued the city. Thus begins our tale with a band of first-level adventurers sentenced to reform through extermination. Bearing iron bracelets that marked their criminal status, they were given 1 month to fill 4 barrels with rat scalps or find another solution to the city's plight. An additional barrel would be required for each month they tarried. The adventurers found themselves in the company of Loch Brammer, a stout and seasoned dwarf who suggested they gather supplies to expedite their grim task. Heeding his advice, the players venture into Genna to prepare for the hunt. They looked for tools, answered job ads, researched, asked for help, and thought of many ways to get into the heart of the rodent problem. They soon learned of the rat's particular cunning and intelligence, which had grown more fearsome in the recent year. Whispered rumors spoke of demonic influences or treacherous neighboring kingdoms importing vermin to undermine Genna's economy. 2 weeks passed. Yet the adventurers struggled to make a significant dent in the infestation. Then, Locke proposed a daring new approach to seek out a hidden portion of the city sewers, where the rats might breed undisturbed. The adventurers pooled their resources to purchase digging equipment and embark on a quest to uncover the motherlode of rats. The players followed the trail of more and more rat activity into the dark and winding sewers. They encountered the fearsome rats of Genna, a breed of larger and telepathic rats born from the toxic alchemy of poisons and psychic spells wielded by rat catchers. These telepathic rats could communicate basic thoughts and become more intelligent when gathered in groups. The adventurers pressed onward, ever aware of the watchful presence of the telepathic rats. They also heard distant echoes of a fellow exterminator, the determined Glenn Simmons, who fought his way through the sewers on his own. The time has come for the adventurers to face their destiny. They reach the heart of the sewers and behold a massive, dark chamber, teeming with thousands of rats known as the Nest. The telepathic rats with the Nest spoke with a single, unified voice, conveying their desire to survive, feed, and spread. Their intelligence was akin to that of a human child, and their motives were no more complex than that of an ordinary rat. The tensions mounted as the players began to negotiate with the Nest. Glenn Simmons, a high elf exterminator filled with resentment over the death of his family, to a rat-born plague suddenly bursts into the room. Glenn's experiments with alchemy and magic unintentionally led to telepathic rats that now haunt Genna. He had come to right his wrongs and exterminate the infestation once and for all. Fate's wheel has spun and the adventurers were forced to choose, to aid the nest or to stand with Glenn. If they helped the nest, the rats would leave Genna and the city would know peace again. If they sided with Glenn, they would crush the nest and reduce the rat population dramatically. The adventurer's choice brought with it different rewards. Those who aided the nest would receive a small bone statue imbued with the power to cast animal friendship spells alongside small mammals. Those who stood with Glenn would earn a generous bounty and celebrate as heroes through Genna. Their decision made, the adventurers embarked from the dank sewers into the light of the new day. The outcome of their adventure opened the door to a wealth of opportunities that awaited them in the city. They could get a job with the grateful town or go deeper into the ancient ruins of Genna just to enjoy the satisfaction of a job well done. So what did you guys think of that one? That was super cool. And this actually reminds me of the Dungeon Dad's Moon Rats. And if you guys haven't seen that video, you've got to check it out. I would totally put them in here instead of these intelligent rats. So much cooler and they have a lot of flavor to it. But with that small tweak, I'm going right into Tempus Fugit. Yeah, we're gonna hope that's how you say it. A 4 to 5 hour adventure for characters of any level, written by Mauro Gotsch as well. Our story starts with the Duchess, Manita von Niederhausen, hiring a group of brave adventurers. Their mission was to protect her son, young Bradley von Niederhausen, a student at the prestigious Lipsforts Manor School for Arcane Innovation. Our heroes go to the school, pretending to be visiting professors so that way they can keep an eye on what's going on. As the adventurers set out towards their destination, they cross paths with the school's merchant, the affable Maurice Grant. He reassures them that he's seen no cause for concern in the school's orders, but he whispers that the forest surrounding the school is rumored to be enchanted. With this seed of knowledge, they continue their journey with anticipation building. Upon arriving, they are greeted by the gracious Vice Dean Evelyn Bardee, who escorts them to their shared guest chambers. She wants them to interact with the students, so she invites the heroes to take part in a beautiful experiment with arcane magic. In this strange experiment, to see if people can read each other's minds, the main characters have to describe a picture to their friends without saying a word. Their minds entwine, they share their thoughts, and as this experiment ends, they embark on a tour of the hallowed halls, breaking bread with the students and faculty. Here, they begin to learn the secrets of the school and its inhabitants. As the day goes on, our heroes go into the heart of the magical forest with Professor Locus Goes. The objective is to gather the precious bark of its ancient trees. However, threatening blights are waiting in the shadows to attack the adventurers. They must vanquish these foes without causing harm to the sacred trees. After their triumphant return, the heroes dine with faculty and students, where they are asked to deliver a speech. Their power of their words will determine the willingness of those gathered to heed their counsel in the coming days. Fate has a strange twist in store. As dessert is served, a terrified, soaked, and pallid freshman named Glenn bursts into the great hall. He speaks of 5 armed and masked figures scaling the school's gates. Chaos ensues as the heroes are faced with a choice: to join the vice dean and professor in their search, or to forge their plan. Unbeknownst to them, the enigmatic Terreximar has been melding with the fabric of time itself. In the Sanctum Sanctorum, he casts a spell to reset the day, trapping our heroes in an endless loop. But the magical trees of the Azalea Forest hold the key to getting out of this time loop. Anything made from their wood keeps its memories from one loop to the next. They must piece together the puzzle of the time loop, drawing upon the arcane drawings from Professor Rary's experiments. notes scribbled in library books on paper from the magical trees, and the wisdom of the trees and blights in the enchanted grove. Their ultimate goal is to thwart Terex's time travel spell and restore the natural flow of time. The adventurers eventually face Tereximar and try to stop him from messing with time. Through persuasion or force, they must put an end to his machinations. 2 outcomes await if they succeed in convincing Terex. An Azalea wood amulet may be their reward, but regardless of the path taken, the heroes must ultimately decide the fate of the knowledge of time travel, a both wondrous and perilous discovery. Our brave heroes have gone through the magical hallways of Ifsamnor Manor School for Arcane Innovation into the heart of the magical Azale Forest. They have grappled with the fabric of time itself, fighting to restore the balance of the world and safeguard the future of the school and young Bradley van der Niederhausen. With the time loop broken and Tereximlar's plan foiled, the adventurers are left with a profound decision to make. The secrets of time travel are now within their grasp, and a tantalizing temptation. Shall they harness this power for their ends, or will they choose to lock away this dangerous knowledge, ensuring it remains hidden from those who might exploit it? This one's a fun one too, guys. If you haven't done anything with time travel at your table, it's a lot of fun to go back and forth with stuff like that, especially when you're in a story that's kind of based off of Groundhog's Day. I love it. And if you guys like that one, go ahead and let me know what you thought in the comments. Well, that's our 5 more DM's Guild adventures. If you guys have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments, and I will see you all later. Don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe.